I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Velocities in Music, the best kept secret in music reviews. Today, your two favorite red-bearded music reviewers are going to review the new Deerhoof album, Breakup Song. Why did they not make that plural? It bothers me, Tom.
Breakup Song?
It bothers me.
I'm sorry.
So, Deerhoof, they're kind of a crazy band from San Francisco that makes some really crazy music. How would you describe their music, Tom? Help me out here.
You almost, to describe their sound, you really almost have to separate the instrumentals from the vocals.
You absolutely
Because that's really where that unique clash in the style comes from. The instrumentals are very crazy all over the board. You have lots of electronic sounds, very overblown, spastic beats, and the guitars are kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Sections of the songs go everywhere. Sometimes you don't even have verse-chorus structures.
Right.
And then you have this very pretty, kind of endearing, charming female vocal over top of it. Very petite sounding.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe their sound is that there's just no rules. It goes everywhere. It does anything that it wants to do. And really, you know, the previous two albums, you know, we reviewed last year, they pretty much come out with an album every year.
Yeah, they're very prolific.
You know, last year they came out with Deerhoof versus Evil, and I remember we disagreed on that one.
Yeah, you liked it quite a bit more than I did.
Yeah, this is just a sound that just kind of resonates with me. I love how eclectic it is, and if you guys, any of you, you know, return viewers know, I'm a guy, I just can't stand verse, chorus repetition. So having a band that's just willing to come out there and not even make long tracks, just short tracks that go everywhere, this is pretty cool. So,
yeah, what they're able to accomplish in 2 or 3 minutes is really, really quite impressive.
Yep. So as an improvement, Breakup Song in comparison to Deerhoof versus Evil, I wouldn't go as far as to say that I really like either one or the other. I would say, you know, score. I think my score for Deerhoof versus Evil is going to be a little higher than this, but I'd say that this album kind of improves on making it sound more of a cohesive album.
I definitely agree.
You know, what I noticed in this one, Tom, is that there was a lot more of a beat-driven structure. Every single track on this album really focuses on creating just a very, very solid beat. In fact, the first few songs on the album, that's the most predominant feature, I think, of those tracks. And then you have a lot of accented rhythms, and specifically with the guitars.
Yeah, the guitars really match the style of those beats because they're just so loud, they're so gritty. It almost has, when you pair those two elements of the sound together, they almost have an industrial feel in the texture and the style of the production. But when you look at the actual writing that they're doing with those instruments, it's a completely different beast altogether because it's got this fun kind of party feel to it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Another thing I noticed about Breakup Song is that the bass, they really do a lot of distortion in the bass. They make the bass kind of this like well-rounded foundation, yet it adds this edge at the same time. It's a unique way of looking at, you know, what the role bass plays in music. And, you know, with a sound this loud, when your drums are as loud as you know, Deerhoof makes their drums and their guitars play such a predominant role, and when you have such a quiet vocalist, you know, to make your bass that loud, I mean, that's something, I mean, they're really taking a unique stance on how they're writing their songs. Specifically the vocals about Deerhoof, I noticed this on the previous album, and it's very true on this one. They really do a nice job of using the vocals as an instrument to round out the sound. That contrast between all the instrumentation and the vocals, I feel like it's just more balanced that way. And I can't even imagine what this would sound like without vocals. And that's to me, that's the testament of a truly good, a good vocalist, a good vocal combination in you know, in C, having just good vocal parts written. I feel like if it were to contrast at all, there would be no point in having vocals.
Well, it shows that they're anticipating and thinking about the way the vocals are going to fit with the music while they're writing the music. Too many times I feel like I listen to bands in all genres, whether it's metal, pop, you know, even rock, indie. I feel like I listen to it and I can tell that the vocals were just an afterthought, that they needed to be there. Not with this band. Not with this band. You can tell that they weave the vocals in there in a very interesting way, which is almost even more impressive considering that the vocals are somewhat minimalistic a lot of the times.
Absolutely.
A lot of repeated lyrics, not too much differentiation between the lyrics, even in sections of the songs. So the fact that they're able to do that and make it feel so smooth, especially on Breakup Song, is really, really good. That's one thing I like about it. I gotta say, I actually like this album quite a bit more than Deerhoof versus Evil, just because I felt like it was more consistent. As I listened through it, I felt like there was more to latch onto. I think that Deerhoof versus Evil was a little crazier, and that might be why I like Breakup Song better. I think at the same time, that that might work in the opposite way with a lot of listeners who are looking for something just above and beyond. You might not get that entirely here in the songwriting and the composition. I think you'll still get it in the sounds that they're using, but not necessarily in the way that they put them together.
Plus, this album's just cool because they just really cranked up the volume. I mean, this thing is loud.
It is.
From the moment you put it on, as Tom mentioned, the industrial side of things, it just has this loud industrial sound to it, and it's just a kind of a unique spin on even Deerhoof, but it still has that perfect Deerhoof sound that we like. So I'm liking this one. I think I'm gonna give this a 79, Tom.
I'm gonna go 73. I did enjoy it, but I mean, it was very charming. It was very fun to listen to, but it didn't quite have that comeback quality for me that you need in order to get kind of in the upper 70s.
Man, that's 2 albums in a row that I like Deerhoof more than you.
That's true.
I think they're just more of a Jake.
More your kind
Very
of thing.
true.
Yep.
What do you guys think? Do you love Deerhoof? Is this one of your favorite Deerhoof albums? What is your favorite Deerhoof album? Let us know at www.velocitiesandmusic.com or leave us a comment at our YouTube site, youtube.com/velocitiesandmusic. As always, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. That's where we talk with you, and you guys make up a huge part of what VIMTV is. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, moving music critique forward.
Show